Good afternoon, good evening. It's a pleasure to be here and to have the opportunity to speak about innovative business intelligence with you this evening. Allow me maybe only one word about the company Hewlett-Packard. Talking to an audience of important CFOs, we are living in Hewlett-Packard an important moment. You are used to mergers, to acquisition, to LBOs. We are living the most important event in our history, which is the separation of our company into two Fortune 50 companies. On one side, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, dedicated to infrastructure, services, and softwares. On the other side, HP Inc., dedicated to personal systems and printing. Let me say that this was a very important project for our company, and as usual, the most difficult thing was about technology, IT, putting together a number of projects to allow the separation of hundreds of legal entities all over the world. If I remember well, more than 2,800 applications have been changed, and more than 50,000 servers have been impacted. So an important moment for us as we have created two major companies for the future. Let's go now back to the important topic of innovative business intelligence. Hewlett-Packard, together with Pierre Audouin-Conseil, have built a survey open to more than 300 CFOs worldwide in all industry segments. And the three major learnings from this survey were that, number one, the top priorities of CFOs, is to manage risk, to prevent issues related to security, related to the mitigation of risk. Number two, the majority of the CFO see the digital technologies as having a major impact on the financial function. And number three is the fact that the role of the CFO is becoming more and more business-oriented, supporting the top-line generation, enabled by technology. Here on the right side of the slide, you see a number of statements where the level of agreement is highlighted. For instance, the role of the CFO supporting the revenue growth is considered very important or important by more than 90% of the CFO that have been inquired. The second element is that CFO understand that more and more business analytics is extremely important for an effective business decision. You can see 89% of them agree with that statement. Number three, the fact that CFO need to have a role which is more and more client-centric. The CFO has to work more closely with the sales, the marketing, and the customer service to support a positive customer experience. So I don't think that the role of the CFO is going to disappear. I think that the role of the CFO is becoming more and more important, more and more out of his or her own office, and as a coordinator, as a strategic partner of the CEO and the strategic partner of the board and the stockholders in order to transform the company. So let's have a look at the role of the CFO. The CFO used to be a cost authority. It will become, in our vision, an enterprise value architect. You know, CFOs have more and more a role as a strategic partner and advisor of the CEO, need to work in a collaborative environment in order to work with the other business leaders to adapt to the transformation that the digital era is bringing to their company. The CFO is the owner of the business information and has the capacity to transform the large amount that we will see in a moment of unstructured and structured data that the company is facing into actionable data. And of course, given the central role of the CFO, it will be very important for them that he becomes, or she becomes, the enabler of the digitalization of the company. If we move more now to the role of data, I think that it's fundamental to understand this point. If you have a look at the right hand of the slide, every minute, more than 100,000 tweets are exchanged. 170 million mails are sent. 11 million instant messages are shared. Every minute, 200 new mobile users become active. So basically, data is growing in an exponential way. 90% of the data that is available to you today did not exist 2 years ago. And this is creating three major elements of disruption. Number one, we need to take into account the fact that all the computer-based products are providing data now. We are entering in the era of Internet of Things, in mobile-to-mobile and machine-to-machine transaction, in the manufacturing 4.0. So the data is exponentially growing also because machines are creating data. Number two, this data is available online everywhere. Number three, technology is now able to turn unstructured data into investigable data. And now organizations want to take advantage of this movement to create a competitive advantage. How this impacts the BI? Well, given the very important volume of data which is now available, you have financial data, which is only a small portion of the data that a company can handle, enterprise data, and the big social media external lakes of data that are becoming available. It is important to understand that analytics needs to change. We need to embed analytics in all the business processes. In the supply chain, when a customer is speaking with an agent, if there is the possibility to promote a new product or to change the way the product is shipped thanks to the analytics, it should pop up. So analytics should be embedded in all the operational business processes. Analytics should become smart. What is the meaning of smart? Smart means proactive, self-improving, machine learning systems. Systems that can find the patterns that is important in order to provide the decision-making support. It should be democratized. Business analytics shouldn't be only for the CFO or the board members. It should be open to everybody and not related only to technical experts that can create the query for the user. It should be democratized. It should integrate all the available communication channels, online, mobile, images, audio, video, and it should facilitate collaboration while improving the digitization and the automation of the business processes of the company. So the evolution of BI, basically, what we have today when we look at our clients is what we have on the left, which is very important, but is an after-the-fact evaluation, looking before and trying to explain what happened in the past. So this kind of business intelligence, traditional business intelligence, is answering to the question which are what happened and why did it happen. More and more companies are leveraging the internet and the social network in order to gather important insights and start to prepare and have predictive analytics to answer to the question, what will happen? The future will be for the real data-driven enterprises. And I will give a couple of examples of what we believe are data-driven enterprises. The question these data-driven enterprises answer to is, how can we make happen the future we want? And basically, it provides prescriptive analytics. A company like Uber, which is now becoming the standard in the city transportation, basically thanks to their software, to their analytics, have transformed the industry sector of the city transport. We speak now about Uberization of the economy. Another company like Airbnb, which didn't exist a few years ago, is becoming the major competitor of the majors, the Hiltons of this world, leveraging a model which is based not on their own assets, but on everybody else's assets, rooms they do not own. We really believe that more and more there will be radical changes in the business model driven by data-driven organizations. Back to the survey, one of the elements that struggled me was the fact that the executives that were responding to this analysis said that they believe that only 10 to 15% of the expected value of their big data investment is realized, which means that 85 to 90% of the value is yet to be created, leveraging the business data, the machine data, the human data in order to create a data-driven organization. Another element coming from that survey, 62% of the executives say they take decisions on advices rather than on data. I think this will change because data will become more and more actionable, providing information. Let me give a few cases, a few examples of operational, real projects in business intelligence that we have implemented with a number of international companies empowering the data-driven enterprises. So the first message here is that every industry segment is impacted by this. There is no industry segment which is not impacted by the importance of the next generation business intelligence. I will only focus on two examples, the warranty claims, no connection with the last events in the automotive market, just because this is an example I believe is pretty relevant talking about smart analytics. And the second example relates to the real-time information in the retail industry. You know that warranty claims is one of the major costs for car manufacturers. Here, one of the major global automotive group has built a solution of smart analytics that aims to evaluate the driver's patterns, to focus the warranty and the call of the cars to only the users that have the risk to have an issue with a specific car. And basically, this self-improving analytics engine has found the pattern that focus on the 10% population of car users that will have an issue with the car. And avoiding to have to call back 100% of the car, they focused only on the 10% of the car that risk really, because of the behavior of the consumer, because of the localization of the consumer, to experience the problem, with, of course, an important cost reduction in that operation. The second example relates to a fashion retailer, 1,600 stores worldwide, present in more than 90 countries. Basically, I think it's difficult to find an industry segment with such a competitive, high-pressure, and high-pressure situation, and need to be fast into the market like the retail industry, the fashion retail industry. They wanted to democratize business analytics and business intelligence, and they decided to build a solution where basically everybody, the store manager, the buyer, the designer, would receive and be able to work with unstructured and structured data related to their business in order to allow them to be more effective in their work. And this piece was in particular appealing for the designers, because designers usually do not like to use technology. The outcome is here on the right hand of the slide, with better sales tracking, better merchandise allocation, and an increase in the campaign response by up to 40%. I will finish with an example and a video of something that I particularly like, which is the NASCAR company, which is the largest worldwide auto racing sport event management company. Together with Hewlett-Packard, NASCAR has built the Fun and Media Engagement Center to monitor different sources of social, digital, broadcast conversation. More than 1,400,000 conversations by minute have been monitored in order to analyze this information and provide a positive buzz to the engagement of the fan and the clients of NASCAR.